Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. There was a long break, unfortunately. I got the plague from my wonderful daughter that got sick for the first time and she got well very quickly, but I was sick and without the voice for 3 weeks. I'm slowly getting back to full shape, although my voice still sometimes cracks, but hopefully it's going to be all alright. And yeah, I actually couldn't wait to go back to this game. I promised myself not to play it without you guys. So, although most of my friends have finished this game already, I am still here. So we need to bring this to an end. And I feel today we're going to visit those that we haven't visited yet. So Agathon and Tameka. Let's start with our little gangrel friend because I have just finished and uploaded the video about Gangrel clan. So I think it will be up to the theme. Let's do that. Tameka. Jezebel's childer. Sophie mentioned a gangrel known by the name of Tameka, who's made herself a haven in Prospect Park. The Pharaohs aren't exactly a social bunch, even by kindred standards, but if you can keep her from clawing your eyes out just long enough, she might be persuaded to join you. Okay, let's do that then. I am into meeting a wonderful gangrel woman that tried to claw my eyes out. Not long after you wake up tonight, Gregory knocks on the door of your apartment. Hey, I came to pick you up. Miss Langley wants to see you. Oopsie daisy, have I actually done something wrong? Do you know what she needs me for? I'm not in a position to ask, I'm sorry. He smiles politely. The car's waiting, shall we? You wrestle with the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you just leave, disappear, let Sophie find somebody else to employ. But then you remember the Anarch Fag being cut down by Kadir and how close you were to the same fate, not even a week ago, and that it might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked to one of the paintings in the room. The Toreadors. You're pretty sure it's been here before, but she's behaving as if she's seeing it for the very first time, entirely entranced. That's what Toreadors do. She probably rolled her dice pretty badly and got the compulsion. Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to the both of you, a bit of irritation in her countenance, which soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. You're here. Excellent. Thank you, Gregory. Her driver leaves, and she turns her attention to you. I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances, but I have to say, I'm happy to see you, Lafayette. Thank you for coming. The change of the mood in the room is so sudden and startling. It makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally, you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. She's using awe, the first level power of presence, which, by the way, I had a chance to talk with Karim Muammar, the chief editor of White Wolf, this weekend, and I told him awe is overpowered, and he agreed with me. He said that it's supposed to be overpowered, and that the presence powers are kind of supposed to work this way, mostly because they actually do not work in combat, and when you are using them, you know, in the midst of the battle, if you don't have majesty, which is the highest power, then you actually can't awe or entrance anyone who wants to tear your head off. But before the combat begins, it is supposed to be very, very powerful. Damned Raiders. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language all feel 100% genuine in expressing a legitimate interest in you and your well-being. I have a request for you this night. I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery. She points to the statue on the side of the apartment. You notice a plain-looking pen drive lying on the corner, right next to where the inanimate Archer's bow touches the pedestal. The man you'll be looking for calls himself Kaiser. He has eyes and ears all around New York, and it's rare for something to happen here without his knowledge. I'll need you to take this memory stick and bring it to him. In exchange, he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible. You're about to ask what's in the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you. Oh, don't worry about the contents. They are encrypted, a precaution if the data fell into the wrong hands. But it won't, yes? She gives you a smile that just a handful of nights ago would make you feel like melting. I am slowly resisting her all thingies. Oh, and Lafayette. Kaiser is a Nosferatu. That's twisted, the foreign lineage of kindred. He's old, and his age made him even more paranoid than others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens and changes them often. From what I have gathered, him or one of his servants should be found at the park on Coney Island tonight. You'll have to identify them somehow. I'm told Kaiser has spent many of his nights these past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep your eyes open for it. Okay, black limo, old Nosferatu, that's fine. That smile again, but much shorter. Why do you need to trade with him? Can't you just request the information given your connections? Kaiser doesn't care about my or anybody's position. He considers information as valuable as blood and makes it a point to never share it for free. That's a very common Nosferatu trope, actually. Nosferatu do have the compulsion of needing this more information, and just like Toreadors have the compulsion of beauty and appreciating beauty and being absolutely entranced in the work of art. Nosferatu, they are entranced in the need to get more info, more intel, and Kaiser represents the feature that many Nosferatu show, where the information is never free, and they always trade the information for more valuable information. Interesting. He only deals with people who have something to offer, but trust me, she picks the pen drive and puts it in your palm. I have more than enough means to grab his attention. She flashes one last smile at you and turns back to painting, clearly done with the conversation. You pocket the memory stick and head out towards Coney Island. It takes you the better part of an hour to reach the lights and sounds of the Coney Island amusement park from the city. The drive is almost pleasant at this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. This reminds me of, actually, Mr. Robot, the series, if you guys watched it. By the way, if you haven't watched it, I finished it recently and I absolutely loved it. It's wonderful. Some of the episodes are the absolute masterpiece when it comes to the camera work. I know I sound like a Toreader, that's because I am a Toreader, but it is really absolutely wonderful. And this reminds me of a location that was very often explored in it. Beautiful. There's plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. Then again, if they did stand out, it would have been kind of pointless, right? Nothing to do but figure out the right approach. All specs, let's do that! Discipline power! You take a moment to focus and try to pick up any details that would help you with locating Kaiser. Initially, the noise of the nearby amusement park floods your mind and stuns you momentarily. A child's crying, the loud bang of a car door closing, the bright old-school logo of the Cyclone roller coaster. All overload your senses, and you have to lean on a nearby booth to stay upright. This is heightened senses, and it's actually a very risky thing to use. It's super helpful because it makes you see more, hear more, feel more. But when you are in the environment in which, for example, suddenly a loud bang happens, or a flash of light flashes into your eyes, then you become overwhelmed, and it is actually very hard to recuperate after something like this. You receive penalties to your dice rolls after your brain received such a strong impulse. It's difficult to deal with that, so remember not to use that too often. You get it under control. Start walking, listening in, taking in the smells and sights, looking for something, anything to point you in the right direction. A man talking on his phone, a snippet of the conversation. Clean the red stuff from the garage, tied up in general. The limo fit for sure. Come on, don't be like that, boss. I didn't mean to. Yes, I know, I am. It's a privilege, Mr. K, sir. The call ends. The man takes the phone away. It's a fancy model. Doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. It doesn't fit the guys who rack looks at all. He notices you. Hey, what you looking at, huh? So you work for Kaiser. Who? I don't know the name. He's a terrible liar, clearly full of shit. Listen, man, I need you to contact your boss, and I need you to do it now. Quit wasting my time, or things will get unpleasant real soon. He doesn't take that well. He reaches into his pocket, produces a gun, you rush him, bang! The bullet hits you in the arm, goes out the other way. It hurts, but what would be a debilitating wound for a mortal is just a nasty scratch for you. I got shot, guys! That's not the greatest thing on the planet, but that just happened. It takes a bit of brawling. The man's stronger than you'd expect, but using your powers, you were able to overcome him. With a few hits to the jaw, the man passes out from the pain. I feel like this is indicating that I need the blood. Soon. Searching him, you find the fancy phone, which doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. The phone's locked, but the recent smudge on the screen gives you a rough idea of what the combination might be. You get it right on the second try. There's just one number in the phone book, unlabeled. You choose it, hear someone pick up. The voice is like a rusty pitchfork shoveling gravel. Jackie, you're messing up my snuff session here. Better be something big. Hey, is that Kaiser I'm speaking to? Silence. Not even a sound. The call ends. You try calling again, but the number is blocked. Nothing to do but wait to see if he shows up. Fuck! I think I kinda did a bad thing there. Not 15 minutes pass before a black limo stops near where you're waiting. One door opens an invitation. The inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge. The kind with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but it has none of that currently. Instead, there are monitors and consoles. Dozens of displays, each one showing something different. Surveillance, camera footage, stock market quotes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. Fun. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything when surrounded by all of this visual noise and then realize there's nobody there. Or is there? He blinks into existence on a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates a regal presence. You're 100% sure. That's Kaiser. Surrounded by dimmed computer screen lights, his features are even more ghastly than you imagined. All sharp angles of twisted bone, severed flesh, and crooked teeth. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. Suddenly somebody grabs you from behind, twists your arm, pushes your head against the car's roof. I got the boss, I have him! The Nosferatu chuckles. Oh, congratulations, dickweeds. Could have done that before you gave away the fucking phone. Just let them go already. But... You going to make me repeat myself, you thick motherfucker? He lets go. You have a look at him. The man's confused and clearly hurting. He flashes you an angry stare but obeys his boss's orders to the letter. Well, you waiting for a formal invitation? Get in the car. We have some talking to do. The doors close behind you. That's a cool freaking car, if I ever seen one. Well, I'm here and I'm pissed. Unless you have a death wish, I assume there's something you have for me. Indulge me or start figuring out how to drink blood with your fangs up your shitter. You reluctantly pull the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser. He plugs it into an USB port in the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happen to be turned away from you. It takes him about a minute to access the data. Let me guess. This from Langley. She said she'd have something like this, huh? You're her new flunky? You need to bite your tongue not to argue with the word he used, but you know it. Who do you people think I am? I've seen this footage a week ago. He plucks the pen drive out and throws it back at you in disgust. Tell Sophie to the deal's off. She wants her address, she gives me something else. Ask how you can make it up to him. Ask him to take the deal. Okay, so this is like something... What was the red thing again? Because I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I can try. Oh, I cannot because I do not have something. I see. Is that like not enough blood or a different discipline that we have? Ask him to take the deal. You take on the most persuasive voice and amicable stance you can in what basically constitutes the lair of a megalomaniacal monster. A lot of difficult words in that one. Come on, man, don't send me back empty-handed. Take the data and honor the deal. It would mean a lot to me. The sound the Nosferatu produces is supposed to be laughter, you think. You're pretty sure he's going to turn over and die any second if it's anything else than... Look at me, I'm so pretty and well-spoken. I'm gonna feed you bullshit and you're gonna cram it in and ask for seconds. Yeah, don't use presents on the Nosferatu. It doesn't work, usually. Ooh. Who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I should do for trying to pull that trick on me? I should mutilate your face and rub sulfur into the wounds, or rip your tongue out and use it as a fucking turkey buster. Only see, I'm in a gracious mood tonight. Plus, I hate turkeys. They disgust me. So I'm going to give you a chance to make this little transgression up to me. I'll contact you. Maybe I'll even throw in that stupid address so Langley can shove it up her cunt. But right now, unless you want me to get really pissed off, you'll show yourself out. You're pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. The opaque windows slide by you, and soon the limo is on its way out. Kaiser's lackey is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way to your car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. Okay. I was supposed to meet with Tameka, and I didn't. Accept. Did I click... Oh, maybe I didn't click accept before. Maybe I just do rest thing. Oh no! Because I had to click rest because that was a new day. Of course, I'm stupid. You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arc. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the place as you've seen it countless times. In broad daylight, teeming with life. You quickly get over it and pass through the northwest gate, into Prospect Park. The park is its usual maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys. Silence hangs in the air as the wood at this time of night, and there doesn't appear to be any sign of kindred presence. You start to suspect Langley's sources fed her a bunch of bullshit, but you're not willing to give up just yet. You take a deep breath. Your nostrils fill with the scent of dead leaves and, something else. A faint whiff of copper. Too subtle for a human to notice, but your newfound kindred intuition tells you that you're in the right spot. Yeah, these are Tameka's hunting grounds, alright. It's more than a hunch, you can feel it in your veins. Now it's only a matter of finding her, unless, of course, she finds you first. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind a line of trees. Quick but evenly paced, most likely a late-night jogger. No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain, but then again, perhaps you could kill two birds with one stone. I mean, we do need blood. There is a little like a thing around the screen frame that indicates that we need blood, so I think we should do that. You lock onto the sound of footsteps. Predicting the runner's path, you move swiftly, but quietly, to intercept them. You hide behind a tree and wait for your prey to get closer. Mere seconds later, a young man in an off-brand tracksuit trots into view. You notice the bats in his ears, beat-heavy music bleeding through. That should make things easier. Just as the man passes by, you emerge behind him and plant your hand firmly on his neck. He struggles at first, desperately trying to break free of your grasp, but as soon as your fangs pierce his skin, panic gives way to peaceful submission. You feel elated as the warm liquid trickles down your throat. The fresh vitae washes over your senses, sending an orgasmic shiver along your spine. Somewhere in the deepest, darkest crevices of your mind, the beast stirs in its slumber. You stop feeding just in time. Your hunger satiated, the beast fast asleep. You sit the dazed victim on a nearby bench. As the world comes back into focus, you suddenly realize that something is not right. Oopsie daisy. In a split second, the air by the side of your head swirls like a vortex. Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back just as 5 finger-shaped razors cut through the darkness, missing your face by an inch. A clawed shadow jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct its mistake. You catch a glimpse of the assailant. Looks pretty animalistic, alright, but he's not the one you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. Just as he's about to lunge at you, a snarl resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your foe in their tracks. Out of the shadow emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so slightly. She walks over calmly, her eyes fixed on your assailant. Her presence is enough to make him reconsider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest. Stay out of it, Tam. I smell them first. Tam, how about that? She raises an eyebrow but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you. You shouldn't have come here, pretty boy. I'm gonna fuck you up so badly you'll be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie. Tameka looks at you expectantly. Easy there. Oh, I didn't want to click that. Okay, this just happened. Sometimes things happen, but you're not in control. Sometimes your mouse decides that it wants to click the other option. That's what happened in there. Okay, don't blame me. If I'm going to die, I have to repeat all of this game. Holy crap. Alright, let's do it. Clearly taken aback, he looks over to Tameka as if gauging her reaction. Guess I know who the alpha is. Let's do that. A barely visible smile creeps up on Tameka's lips. Okay, this worked. Gangrels maybe are all about that pack dominance thingy. So yeah, we did the job, I guess. The man's eyes narrow. Although you can't really see it, you could bet the hair on the back of his neck just stood up. Shut your fucking mouth, pretty boy. You should have run when you had the chance. A fierce growl echoes across the valley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tameka walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim lamplight. She puts her hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging at his ear, as if she was scolding a puppy. Aww. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm yet oddly affectionate. It's okay, Declan. I'll handle it from here. The male gangrel looks at her with a mix of timidity and resentment. Then he turns back towards you. You wanna waste time on this asshole, Tam? Be my guest. Having said his piece, Raoul retreats. That's his name? He didn't say his name. Did he? Retreats into the shadows. Although, if you were to guess, he's likely to stay within earshot. With her companion gone, Tameka turns to you once more. Wait a second, can I check something? Yeah, he was called Declan. And now he's called Raoul. What happened there? Am I not seeing something in here? What do you want? Short story, I'm new here and I'm looking for a chance to leave my mark. Maybe shake things up a bit in the process. I could use your help. Why me? My sources claim you're capable. Are they wrong? No, I guess not. But if you're so well informed, you should know that I don't whore myself out for mercenary work. This is different. I don't think I have the kind of money that could persuade you. All I have to offer is my help and someday, maybe, my friendship. Do I strike you as someone who needs a friend? You do. You need a friend that tells you that you should maybe, I don't know, pick a different clothing or something because this jewelry doesn't fit you. Okay. Do I know about that sire thingy? We can try that too. Yeah. I know what happened to Jezebel. Tough break. No wonder she got fed up with his town. But let's face it, she gave you the shaft. She abandoned you. I'm not going to. That's so wholesome! Why is Lafayette so wholesome all of a sudden? Her expression sours in an instant. You know nothing about her. About us. Tameka looks at the side as if you hurt her feelings. From what you've seen so far, it's an oddly emotive reaction for her. Quick to realize it, she straightens up and turns her piercing gaze towards you. We have nothing more to talk about. Look, clearly we started off on the wrong foot. Yes, you did. No leave. I will only ask once. Aww. I got an achievement called a recruitment fiasco for that. No, that's okay. Sometimes things just don't go like this shit. And with that, you take your leave. You know better than to argue with a scorned gangrel. Still, you can't help but feel a tinge of regret. This could have been the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Why was I so wholesome out of a sudden? Like, I don't know you. Why do I propose you to be your friend forever suddenly? It was a little bit weird, don't you guys think? It felt a little bit off how Lafayette acted around her, but maybe she was just so awesome that he really wanted to score that friendship. But that's the thing, you know, if you really want someone to be your friend, and if you try too hard, it ain't gonna happen, because you cannot force a friendship. So, unfortunately, that's what happened there. Let's go to this guy then. Let's rest, of course. Oh yeah, we have to rest first. You're walking down the street towards your haven. In some other town, the sidewalks would be deserted this time of night. In New York City, there are plenty of passerby going about their business. It's easy to be paranoid when you're a vampire surrounded by a crowd of humans. The kindred have many enemies, and all those enemies have one trait in common. They're invisible, indistinguishable from normal humanity. Other vampires hunters all look like people. Is that old man just a tired restaurant worker or a kindred thrall tailing your movements? Are the officers idly waiting in a patrol car ordinary cops or second acquisition specialists? Are the officers idly waiting in patrol car ordinary cops or second acquisition specialists looking to end undead threats? This kind of thinking leads to madness, but you can't shake the feeling that someone is watching you. It's not the first time you felt like this. Following the queue of so many mortals around you, you stop at a street corner to casually survey your surroundings, as if you were trying to remember which turn to take. You look around ostensibly at the street signs, but in reality to see if someone really is following you. Down the street where you came from, a crowd of young drunk men argue loudly about baseball. There's an indistinct figure standing behind them, almost impossible to notice. A woman, probably. The men unconsciously move around her as they start to walk away, still mouthing off at each other. Whatever this is, it's probably something you have to take care of. Best case, someone is tailing you. Worst case, you'll be attacked and killed. Unfortunately, being undead has its limitations. The sun is coming up soon and you'll burn to a crisp if you stay on the streets. You reach your haven and settle for the day, disconcerted by the idea that someone might know where you sleep. Alright, let's go to this guy then. Oh, wait. As you wake from your slumber and emerge from your haven for the night, you notice a familiar face on the other side of the street, standing on the corner and looking straight at you. It's Kaiser's lackey, whom you met recently, Jackie. He nods to you, encouraging you to approach. He's still kind of rough after your last brawl, but the damage to his face has clearly mended. His hands are out of his pockets, though, a sign of goodwill. It's close enough. Let me guess, this isn't a social visit. Kaiser sent you? Don't say his name out loud, idiot. He does a look around just to make sure nobody's listening in on your conversation. Yeah, he sent me. I'm supposed to give you this. He produces a crumpled piece of paper from his jacket pocket and hands it to you. Read it, memorize it, and give it back here. It's a letter. The paper might be just a page ripped out of a spiral notebook, but the writing on it is exquisitely detailed and deliberate. It reads, "Time to square the debt with me. Go to one shop at 232 Mulberry Street and ask for 1821 special reserved Natello Negro Marrow." Okay. When they tell you they don't have it, say you are a fidel servitor de la familia G. Those exact fucking words. Oh, wait a second. Giovanni! When they tell you they don't have it, say you are a fedele servitore della famiglia G. I don't know how to speak Italian, I'm sorry. Those exact fucking words, and make sure you get the G right. Okay. You'll get a bottle. Just take it and leave by saying grazie. Don't ask how much it is or anything else, just walk out. When you have it, come back to Jackie Boy here and let him know. I'm posing as a Giovanni. You done? Memorize that shit and hand it over. Letters? Passwords? What's all this cloak and dagger nonsense? That's how the boss likes it, and who am I to argue? I just do what he says. You about done with the letter? You know the phrases mentioned in the letter and the address. Then hand the letter back to Jackie. He immediately reaches for a lighter and burns it, putting out the ashes with his boot. So yeah, when you do that what the boss asks, come back here so I can tell you where to go next. I'll be in the alley over there, so find me when you have the item, whatever it is. I didn't know and the boss made it extra clear that I shouldn't care, so I don't. See ya. He shuffles away and leaves you to pursue the lead in the letter. Time to pay a visit to Nolita. You arrive at the address mentioned in the note. Not counting the local restaurant patrons, the street is mostly empty at this time of night, but curiously the wine shop is open. I still absolutely love the backgrounds in this game, they're really pretty. Inside, a small middle-aged woman with curly hair stands behind the counter in front of an entire wall of wine bottles. There's a door at the end of the room, with a small table and a chair occupied by a man with sleek combed back hair, who's dressed in a black faux leather jacket. He's reading a newspaper, but pauses as a little bell rings when you open the door. He takes a sip from a small steaming cup, then gets back to his broadsheet. She's pretty, look at her. Good evening, how can I help? Biggie direct, so let's do that. I would like a bottle of the 1821 Special Reserve Nutella Negromaro, please. Let me check her stock. She seems to be looking for a database on the laptop sitting on her counter. She puts on a polite smile. I'm afraid we don't have that one at the moment. Sorry. Recite the phrase straight and simple. I am a fidel servitor de la familia G. In that case, let me see if we have it in the back. Wait here, please. The woman leaves the counter and goes for the doors in the back. The man by the table puts down his newspaper and takes another sip from the cup, washing it down with a gulp of water from the nearby glass. He tries to hide it, but there's no doubt he's watching you. About a minute passes. Remain silent and wait. Remind yourself of what Kaiser wrote in the letter, and you just keep quiet, patiently waiting for the woman to return from the back of a store. The man finishes his drink and starts doodling on a newspaper, his eyes darting to you every so often. The doors to the back of the store open and the proprietor emerges with a small, unlabeled, squat bottle of crimson liquid. She gives you an apologizing smile. Scusi, sorry for taking so long. Turns out we did have it. She offers you the bottle and reach out to grab it, but she retracts it. You do know what this is, don't you? I'll be taking this thank you with a presence. You focus your blood and immediately see both of the people in the shop focus intently on you and what you're about to say. I'm not sure if I should have done that because I don't think Giovanni have presence, do they? Do they? I don't remember. I know exactly what this is and I'm the right person to give it to. The woman gives you the bottle without hesitation. Grazie. Deciding you've pushed your luck far enough, you nod and exit the store, and then take a brisk walk to your car. Nobody follows you as you leave Nolita and drive back to your apartment. It takes you some time to find a parking spot, but finally you get out of the car and start looking for Jackie. He's not far from where you parted ways just under 2 hours ago. Got the goods? Sure do. Cool. Stand by, I gotta make a call. He takes a few more steps into the narrow space between two buildings and takes out the same high-tech phone you saw him carry the last time. Hey boss, yeah, they have it. Where do I point him to? Okay. Yeah, I'll tell him to go there straight away. He puts the phone back inside the pocket and turns back to you. Willets Point, half an hour, so you better step on it. See you around. With just a flippant salute, Jackie starts walking down the street. You make your way back to the car and drive. You have to push the speed limit. Oh, a new background. There's so many nice backgrounds in this game. I would love to have the wallpapers out of it. You had to push the speed limit to make it on time, but you're here. Willets Point is quite a change of scenery. The place is post-industrial dump, the nearby stadium notwithstanding. You stop your car once you realize that if you go any further down, the potholes are going to kill your chassis. You step out into one of those gashes in the asphalt, splashing the ankle-deep water. Keijo's limo is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the whole place is pretty much deserted, other than the apparent proprietor of a lonely bar, a middle-aged woman who's just locking the place up. Feeding opportunity, we do not need food right now. We could have feed actually now instead of with Tameka. I think she started to dislike me because I fed on her grounds. I'm going to look around for Kaiser. You take a walk around the neighborhood. It mostly consists of rundown shops and garages, with more than a few derelict cars left here years back to rust. Imagine it's a great place for one of the sewer rats to hide out in. So you're on your guard the whole time, but as far as you can tell, you're the only kindred here. It's only when you hear a car stopping nearby and see that it's apparently Kaiser's black limo that you relax a bit and approach it. It's a little bit conspicuous to actually have a black limo driving the place like this, but whatever Kaiser wants. Same as last time, the car door is open, but nobody comes out. You know the drill. This time Kaiser is visible the first time you look inside. You sit down and close the door behind you. So, you pull it off without the hitch then. Give it here. You hand the bottle over to the Nosferatu. He uncorks it gently, takes a whiff, and puts the cork back in. Yeah, that's the stuff. I can see you're useful beyond your charm with the subtlety of a battering ram. Good to know. Let me guess, it's a kindred vitae, and Kaiser is a blood lich and he only feeds on the vitae like that. Here's Langley's precious address. He passes you an envelope with what feels like a thick card inside. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Yeah, I'll send Jackie over if I ever need anything else from you. How about that? Time for you to get out now. He waves you out of the car. With the envelope in hand, you get out back into the torn asphalt and decrepit surroundings. The limo slowly drives away. Finally, you can return to Sophie and bring her what she wanted. Gregory lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh and you realize Sophie's having a guest over. I think there's something going on with the music, guys. I might be wrong, but I feel like the music is going over the previous music and it's not changing. Instead, it's just like few music tracks are looping on top of each other, which doesn't sound very good. You hear that too, right? There's a little bit of a cacophony going there. I'm again in my Toreador phase. He's the man from the Elysium, the one with the glasses and the good taste in suits. You haven't had the chance to talk to him last you saw him. Oh, Lafayette, so glad to see you. Tell me, did the two of you meet before? The man doesn't wait for your answer. He approaches you with an energetic, almost dance-like step, puts his hand out. Thomas Arturo, I heard about you. Pleasure. Thomas is a great source of gossip and an excellent conversationalist. I also have the princess here, which is primary reason dear Miss Langley wished to speak to me tonight. Good gossip, even coming from me, isn't nearly as valued. Oh, sad. Sophie's taken aback by the man's direct comment, but smiles politely. The awkward atmosphere is broken again by the guest's grating laugh. I joke, of course, I joke. Well, I was about to leave anyway, so I'll leave you two to it. Good night, Sophie, Lafayette, Greggy boy. I like Thomas. Sophie's driver opens the door for Arturo, and the guest steps out with a single wave of the hand towards his house and you. The doors close. What's his deal? Same as everyone's. Position, power, influence. Thomas has clout incurred and access to many juicy details on everyone from the prince to the lowliest primogen. It's useful to have him on your side, even if his eccentricity requires some patience. Isn't he a Malkavian? I get some vibes like that. Speaking of patience, you have been putting mine to the test lately. Did you manage to contact Kaiser and acquire what I asked for? Yes, I have it, but the data you offered was all news to him. I had to do another job for him before he gave me this card. She retrieved the envelope from you. I'm sure he did. I do hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. He made me go on an entire separate escapade to retrieve a bottle of wine from a store in Nolita. I am telling her a lot, but she is my sire, so I probably should. I had to use code phrases and whatnot. Wine shop. Code phrases. That degenerate pest. She's visibly agitated, but calms down and smiles at you. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure that whatever Kaiser had you do, it'll blow over. Shit! That's not good, but alright. She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice the same lettering you saw on Kaiser's note from before, but can't see the details. Her eyes widen. Yes, excellent. I need to call on some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. You have my permission to show some initiative, my dear charge. I will contact you soon. With that, Sophie ushers you outside, and you're left to do with the rest of this night's hours as you like. Okay, alright. We do have Somebody Watching Me Part 1. Recently you're feeling as if somebody keeps tailing you. Time to confirm your suspicions. Holy crap. And also we have the Agathon, which we could meet. This or this. I can't... I'm doing this one. I really want to check it out. It's interesting. Agathon, we can meet him later. But this thing, let's do it. Someone is following you around. Has been for a few nights, maybe longer. That can be a good thing. The only question is, what to do about it? I would provoke the stalker to appear. You venture out to the street with the goal of letting your stalker know you're aware of being followed. It's time to stop this ridiculous charade. Not the best idea usually, but we are not a very smart vampire, we're just a fledgling, so let's do that. It's raining outside, and as you step on the street in front of your haven, you wonder whether that will help you. Will you be able to see the footprints of your stalker in puddles on the ground? Not sure where to start, you slip a few bills to the homeless man and chat up the guy who runs the local bodega. Both talk your ear off about strange characters hanging around, but none of their stories seem right to you. Walking the streets, you're by turns convinced that everyone you see is an enemy agent out to get you, and that your stalker has decided to take a night off. Frustrated after a couple of hours of useless searching, you cross the road without looking where you're going. A courier on a motorbike zooms towards you, not having enough time to brake or swerve as you suddenly step in his way. For a split second, your eyes meet those of the man on the bike, and you both know you will collide. You'll get hurt. Something hits you, pushes you forward. You tumble flying to the sidewalk as the courier zooms past. You feel a weight on your back, catch a glimpse of something. A person. Female, you think. And then she disappears. You could spend a couple more hours trying to find the woman who's stalking you, but in your shriveled, undead heart, you know it to be futile. She's gone. Huh. That was interesting. I think that will be it for today, guys. I'm going to leave you with the prospect of a female kindred stalking me and also saving my ass for some reason. That was quite of an interesting discovery. I will see you in the next episode, which this time will for sure happen faster, because I am fully back in shape. And yeah, before I will go, I just want to tell you something that I soon will be making a video on as well. There will be an announcement soon about the things we're doing behind the scenes with Paradox Interactive and Bloodlines 2 stuff. I cannot wait for you guys to learn more about this, but I've visited Stockholm last week to participate in some project that's related to Bloodlines 2. And I absolutely can't wait to show you guys what we're cooking, because it's going to be super, super exciting. So just leaving it here for those of you who actually watch through the whole video, so you will know soon there will be an announcement that I cannot wait to share. Thank you, and see you in another one. Don't get lost in the night. Goodbye.